Hi everyone, welcome to our Cloud Tagna YouTube channel, Module 3 of Learn Azure in 60 Minutes series. Today we are going to talk about Azure Networking. In this module, we will look at all aspects of Azure Networking from architecture perspective. Let's get started. Let's quickly recap what we have learned so far. First, we learned the basic understanding about the cloud services. Then we discussed about how to get started with Azure. Today we will explore how to use various networking components when you are architecting your cloud solutions. After completing this module, you will have a good understanding on various Azure networking components, and that helps you to build cloud solutions. Let's consider this is your current architecture and you just have an Azure tenant created and your subscription is active. There are no resources inside your subscription yet. Before deploying any resources, it is very important to think from compliance and governance perspective. As a best practice, the first step is to have the right set of policies in place for your tenant. Policies are a set of predefined conditions such as your resources can be created only in certain allowed region so that you comply with your organization defined standards. Once the policies are set up, now you have to lay down your networking infrastructure. It is very important to carefully plan your virtual network, subnet models and IP schema to avoid any overlapping issues. Azure Virtual Network or VNets is a representation of your network in the cloud, and this is the fundamental building block for your private network in Azure. Using VNets, your resources such as virtual machines can communicate to one another. So how do you create the virtual network? This is very simple. You can either do it through Azure Portal or Azure CLI PowerShell. There are plenty of how-to guides available online. Once your virtual networks are created, you can place your machines into the respective VNets so that your VMs can talk to one another. So from security perspective, it's a good idea to place the network security group or NSG in short on the subnet level in order to filter your incoming and outgoing network traffic. Now let's talk about the VNet to VNet communications. By default, VNet communications are not enabled. Hence your VMs cannot talk to other VMs outside your virtual network. In order to enable this communication, you can enable VNet peering feature from your virtual network properties. Now let's talk about on-premise to Azure connectivity methods. In order to establish the connectivity between your on-premise network and Azure virtual network, there are multiple options available. They are site-to-site connection, point-to-site connection, and express route connections. In point-to-site connection, lets you create the secure connection to Azure Virtual Network from your individual client computer. In site-to-site connection, the secure connections will be established between your on-premise network and Azure Virtual Network. In both connections, a secure tunnel will be established over the internet. If your organization do not want to have a connections over the internet due to any security reasons, then you can go for the complete private connection, which is express route. Let's explore more on the site-to-site connection. In order to establish the site-to-site connection, you need a VPN gateway. So the first step is to have the VPN gateway created on the Azure Virtual Network. So once the VPN gateway is provisioned, you can establish a secure tunnel between your on-premise VPN gateway and Azure VPN gateway. So now you have the connectivity established between your on-premise and the Azure tenant. Let's see how to secure your Azure virtual network and protect your resources from the vulnerabilities. In order to secure your networks, you shall place a Azure firewall which has the threat intelligence capabilities or any similar product like any network virtual appliances on your perimeter network. Also, it's a good idea to have a DDoS plans for your networking resources. So that helps to protect your resources from vulnerable attacks like a volumetric attack or protocol attacks. DDoS stands for Distributed Denial of Services. Now, how do we ensure all the incoming and outgoing traffics flowing through the Azure Firewall subnet? By default, Azure Network uses system-defined routing, which is automatically populated. In order to override the system routes, you can use user-defined routing by creating the routing table. So when you place any network virtual appliances like Azure Firewall, it is important to have the necessary UDR so that your incoming and outgoing traffics will be flowing through the network virtual appliance. Now let's discuss the load balancing options available in Azure. There are several load balancing options available, such as Azure Load Balancer, Azure Application Gateway, Azure Traffic Manager, and Azure Front Door. Azure Load Balancer is the layer 4 load balancer, and it is mainly used to distribute your virtual machine traffic. Azure Application Gateway is the layer 7 load balancer, and it can be used if you wish to load balance your HTTP or HTTPS based web traffic. Application Gateway also provides the additional features such as SSL offloading, path-based routing, cookie-based session affinity. Also, it brings web application firewall capabilities. Traffic Manager is a global load balancer for geo load balancing solutions. For example, if your workload are placed across multiple regions, then you can have a traffic manager to distribute your traffic across the regions. And this also supports non-HTTP traffic such as SMTP. Azure Front Door is a global load balancing and web acceleration solution. The key point here is it leverages the Microsoft internal backbone connectivity, so your applications gets the better latency, and it is suitable for content delivery network based HTTP workloads. From name resolution perspective, you can use Azure DNS. It's a good idea to manage your public DNS through Azure DNS. In order to securely connect and manage your virtual machines through RDP and SSH, it's a good idea to have an Azure Bastion service, so your RDP and SSH traffic stay within Azure. From security perspective, this also helps you to reduce the attack surface. Finally, to diagnose any networking related issues in the cloud, you could also use Network Watcher. Let's quickly summarize what we have learned. First, we talked about setting up network infrastructure. Then we talked about these connectivity options, load balancing options. Finally, we look at some of the management and diagnosing options available in the Azure. Hope these informations helps you to architect cloud solutions. We do help our customers to build a cost-effective, secure cloud solutions. Do contact us if you need our support. Next module, we will explore all aspects of Azure storage. Hope this video is informative, and please do subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss our updates. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next update.